This is the DallasCowboys.com Draft Show.
The Cowboys are on the clock.
Your war room for insider news and draft analysis from deep within the confines of Cowboys headquarters at the Star in Frisco.
The Dallas Cowboys select Leighton Vander Esch.
And now, your hosts, Dane Brugler, David Hellman, and Brian Broadus.
Well, welcome to the Draft Show here from the SWBC Mortgage Studios for another week. As the big voice guy says, it's Brian Broadus here with my scouting buddies Dane Brugler, David Hellman, Kent Garrison, executive producing as always. Gentlemen, we're getting very close to this draft. Inside 44 days, I think now. 43 days.
Just over a month?
Yeah, just over a month. Kind of getting some pro days rolling on. Had a quarterback throw yesterday at Oklahoma. Maybe talk about that a little bit. I want to get into this first segment, though, as we get rolling. And I want to get this thing going because we just run out of time at the end of the day, and, you know, it's the way it goes. But I kind of want to get into like a tail of the tape situation here because at the Combine, we had some guys that worked out really well. You know, but when we went back, did the tape make us feel any different about the player? I know you got your top 100 coming out today.
Yep.
Dane. So, you know, I want to kind of get an idea of that. We got a little Twitter on the 20 as we always do. And we got some Tell Me More. And David Hellman has come up with some names that I was quite going, oh.
I got a really, really good one for you, Dane. I'm excited.
Yeah, who are you?
I'm excited. All right.
So, yeah, we're going to see if we can stump the expert here of Dane Brugler. But, Dane, you know, we had some guys that ran and worked out very, very well. And as we went into the Combine, we were kind of thinking, okay, for example, the Campbell kid, the wide receiver from Ohio State.
Paris Campbell.
Kind of looking at him and thinking, okay, maybe third, maybe 2, 3 on the where you would think about him and watching the ability of the player. And then all of a sudden he goes flying on you. And, you know, maybe you expected that.
You did. I mean, I don't think it was necessarily the speed. It was more when you watch the tape of the Combine and you see the drills, the positional drills. The biggest question for me is downfield. What can he bring you?
Sure.
Because he was an underneath player. We talked about it.
Yeah,
that
underneath
Percy
routes.
Harvin
Yeah,
roll,
exactly.
Jet sweep, screens.
Right.
What can he give you down the field? And I know the Combine, when you talk about positional drills, it's a lot different when you simulate. If you simulate a game compared to catching a ball in shorts and no defense and all that. But I was really encouraged by what I saw from Paris Campbell.
Just from the workout aspect of it?
Just the routes downfield, the tracking skills. And it's a big jump going from what he was asked to do at the Combine compared to doing it on the football field.
Right.
But I was really encouraged by what I saw. And again, the numbers are great, but it was expected. Paris Campbell, 6 foot, 205, 4.31 in the 40. The jumps were ridiculous, 40 inches in the vert, 11.3 broad.
Okay.
But, again, the positional stuff, that's what really sold me as, okay, this guy has some juice, and I won't be surprised at all when he goes, and I mentioned first round when we were at the Combine.
Sure.
I won't be surprised he goes in the first round, and on my board, I have him as the 4th wide receiver, number 43 overall.
So where did he start in your process before the Combine? Would he have been a top 50 player on your board?
No. I mean, because again.
So does the tape translate? You think to what we're seeing here?
I want to know. Well, first of all, I want to know the 3 in front of him.
Yeah, that was one. I buried the lead on that one, didn't I?
I'm guessing Hollywood, Metcalf.
I don't think he has Metcalf up there over him.
I have Metcalf 1.
Oh, do you have Metcalf 1?
Just pure upside.
Right.
Hollywood,
Sorry
Metcalf, and then the 3rd, A.J. Brown.
Very good.
Yeah, I pay attention.
There you go. Good job, David.
With Paris Campbell, you can go back to the Ohio State tape and you'll like what you see.
Yeah.
But again, you're not going to see downfield routes. You're not going to see any complexity.
So the Combine showed you this kid has the ability to track the ball and go down the field then?
At least he showed me that he could do it.
He
didn't struggle with it.
I'm a little, and I'm not trying to say I disagree with you. I trust you implicitly. I'm a little surprised, as much as you focus on tape, to hear you say this, because that's my impression of Campbell is you turn on the tape, you're going to see the athleticism, you're not going to see the polish of the route running and the versatility, and you trust his hands, you trust his mechanics and all that good stuff. I'll beat the name into the ground. I won't apologize for it. Like, how do you compare him to Deebo Samuel just in terms of the tape of Deebo Samuel playing wide receiver is going to be way better.
Oh, it is.
Than the tape of Paris Campbell.
That's fair. I think so much of scouting.
Samuel 4.46, by the way.
Right. And so much of scouting is projection. With what Paris Campbell did at the Combine, I feel much better projecting him forward as a guy who will round out his route tree, who will, put it all together and be more than just an underneath target. Where Deebo Samuel, I think he's a good player. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he's number 8 wide receiver for me, number 2 senior behind Paris Campbell. So I like Deebo Samuel, but I think he's kind of tapped out in terms of like what he gives you. Like exactly what you're getting, but it's just it's not necessarily a home run. Where Paris Campbell, I think, could be a home run with what he brings you. It's just on his tape at the Ohio State tape, he didn't show me that he can't run downfield routes. He wasn't asked to do it.
You don't see him do it. That's for sure.
There's a big difference when if he couldn't do it on tape during the season, then he does do it at the Combine. That gives you a little bit of pause. But he wasn't asked to do it at Ohio State, but then he did do it at the Combine. That's why I'm a little more optimistic when it comes to Paris Campbell.
What about the Notre Dame kid?
Yeah,
the receiver,
Miles Boykin.
See, now that's the one I think that's got a lot of people scratching their head in the scouting community. When you got a guy that's almost 6'4", 220 pounds, and he goes down there at 4.41.
Mm-hmm. And not only the 40, but 6.77 and a 3 cone.
Yeah,
that's a silly number.
Okay,
that's pretty crazy.
Is the tape showing that, or is the tape not going to lie on that one? Is that a little bit? You talk so glowingly about Campbell, and rightfully so. Do you talk Boykin the same way? Does Boykin put himself in a position to where he is maybe a 3rd round guy, and not this maybe a 5th round guy or 4 or 5 type guy you thought?
I was encouraged by what I saw. He doesn't play with the confidence of that type of athlete. You see a little bit of the twitch, you see the movement skills. When he has a lane, when he can run, you see the speed. As a route runner, don't necessarily see it all the time.
Sure,
but I'm encouraged by what I saw. More so than what I thought going in, and the numbers help that. But he reminds me a lot of Dante Moncrief coming out of Ole Miss.
God, there's that Ole Miss again. And wide receiver, and you're just like, hold on to your rear.
Yeah.
I know I'm throwing them all together, but that's...
Moncrief has had a pretty good career relative to where he was drafted.
Yeah.
We're not talking about Laquan Treadwell.
Right, and he did okay.
It's just Ole Miss. It's Ole Miss and receivers is what we're talking about.
No, I got you.
Yeah. No, with Boykin, I think you have a guy who he looks the part. 1-step acceleration. He doesn't. It's not build up speed. 1 step and he's going. And where I really liked Miles Boykin before the Combine was his athleticism at the catch point, the adjustment skills where he just kind of throw it in his area and he's going to come down with it. So I think he brings value. He comes in for me, I think, number 10 wide receiver. So he bumped up a little bit after the Combine. Not enough where I'm going to put him.
So number 10, where does that put him in as far as where he could be drafted?
For me, I think he's number 70 overall on my board.
Okay.
So, that's early 3rd round.
Okay.
But if he goes in the 2nd, no one should be surprised.
I hate to go rogue on y'all, but can I flip this for a second?
Yeah, sure.
I feel like at this time of year, and for good reason, but we do it, the Cowboys could be picking 19, they could be picking 58. We're always like, oh, he's not going to get there. No way. That's not going to happen. And since Boykin went to Notre Dame, that reminded me of Equanimous.
Well, that sounded like to me the worldly guy thing. Well, just talking to teams again, like Dane first came up with that. The same thing can maybe be said about the tackle there.
I don't care.
Tillery.
Yeah,
right.
I don't care why, but who's the guy that we're talking about glowingly right now who's going to be there late on day 3 when you're like, whoa, what's going on with this guy?
Oh, you're saying the guy that's got it.
You can go find tape of us talking about St. Brown last year, being like, "Oh, he won't be there for you."
You want to know who it is? It's going to be the kid from Colorado State, Preston Williams.
Yeah, but I think we expect that.
Not only that, but is he even going to get drafted?
I'd say if he went undrafted, I wouldn't be surprised.
If tests weren't good to go along with some character concerns.
I'm saying whoa because of the ability.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. If you're teling me this,
who's a guy that you like Preston Williams? Dane, who's a guy that you really like who's going to fall? Come on.
I'm looking through my list here. A guy like Devin Singletary.
The running back.
Yeah. I think
That's a great call.
You really like the tape. He makes guys miss, but his
now you're stacking 5 guys above him is what you're doing.
Right, yeah.
The combine hurt him.
It did.
Florida Atlantic.
It hurt him.
Back, just
and that's where I'm saying that, him and how about him and like Isaac Nada?
Yeah.
I didn't expect Isaac Nada to come rolling down there at 4'9".
Yeah.
I didn't expect that. You watch his tape. See, this is where to me, you talk about like, oh, who helped who, and I'm like, do you?
You just get mad.
I get mad.
You're gonna go out to Athens and time him at a 38-yard
yeah,
dash,
and then I'm gonna head my way down to Boca Raton, Florida, and I'm gonna get the other kid at 38 too. I just feel like though.
No, you should be happy. That means these guys will fall to you. What if I mean?
I just feel like that Isaac Nada is a better football player than a 4'9" guy. His workout did not, and his workout is, and maybe you're going to be right about Polite. Maybe you're going to be right about him. Maybe there's a guy at 58 you better get ready for.
That's another guy.
It's possible.
And then all of a sudden, when we're on the Cowboys, it's one away. Dane, who do you got? Well, we got Polite from Florida, and I'm going to go.
Kind of like a Harold Landry type of deal. I mean, not the same reasons, but yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
But with Singletary, it wasn't just the numbers at the combine. Like, he didn't catch the ball well, and that was a big question with him.
His workout was horrible.
If you can't catch the ball and you're an undersized guy, that's a problem.
Better walk on water, old Ron Wolf used to say, if you're that little.
So, teams are going to be looking at that competition, the Conference USA. Is that really what helped make the tape shine and that production and, the offense?
Can you say that about Henderson then from Memphis, though? Oh, not conference. He's the American conference, right?
Right, but similar. I mean,
similar. Yeah.
The thing with Darryl Henderson in Memphis, the thing that worries me with him, you look at the backup running back, the third string running back, they all average like 6 yards a carry.
Scheme helps there.
Oh yeah, I mean, you watch that tape and there are some gaping holes to run through. Now, I mean, Henderson, there's a lot of credit as well. I'm not trying to take credit away from him, but it does give you a little bit of pause when you factor in scheme, factor in competition, factor in just the situation they were put in. It's just in college football, there are 130 teams in the FBS.
Yeah.
It's so different from conference to conference.
Focusing on the Cowboys here, Dave.
Yeah.
What's my compensatory for number, please? Do you remember that?
I believe it's 136.
Can I take Nada at 136?
Ooh, God!
Yeah,
you're speaking my language. If that's possible.
If he's going to run 4.9 and everybody's going to jump off the Nada train,
go me. It is 136.
There you go, Dave.
Nice.
I knew we had you on the show for a reason.
Nice memory, Dave.
Yeah, it's amazing the fact you'd been to Mardi Gras and the Combine back to back.
Hey,
and survived.
I don't really get it either.
but okay, 136.
I'd be surprised.
I have it in the third round.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if you fell that far because we're talking end of the fourth round.
Sure.
I'd be surprised if you fell that far, but you never know with these tight ends.
See, I got him and Sternberger right there next to each other. Yeah. If you watch the tape, this guy's a flat back blocker to me when you watch him play.
Yeah.
We're getting back into On the Clock series.
Isn't there? I'm paraphrasing here, but.
Don't quote me, Dave.
No. I read this off my Twitter timeline back because Nada's workout was terrible, and it was like there's like no successful tight ends that ran as slow as he did.
Yeah,
like if there are,
but
it's such a small list.
See, that's another one of those.
Doesn't that freak you out though?
No, it freaks me out because again, you're right about the guys. You're right about our little running back down there at Florida Atlantic.
No,
you're right about him. But you're also not you're going, he's not a 4.9 player.
He's not a 4.9 player.
He's not. I'm surprised Burglar didn't come up with that one.
Oh, he's made that joke before.
Yeah.
That's more combine guys that I think we need to talk about.
By the way, your center, Bradbury, he's in the first round.
Oh, yeah.
Get ready for that.
No, he could go he go in the teens easily.
Damn. Ragnow style.
Yeah. Whoa.
Because he's a guy that especially if you're a zone team,
tape's good, workout was good.
You need a center, okay, draft him, plug him in, you're fine. Another guy who helped himself, I thought a lot, Justin Lane from Michigan State, corner.
Like that guy.
He, to me, I think he's my fourth corner now, behind Greedy.
Where do you got Murphy? He's going to kill Murphy because he's short.
No.
Yes, he will.
Murphy's actually my top corner. I'm with you.
Oh!
Byron Murphy, Greedy.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So who's third?
You put Murphy over Greedy, Williams?
Yeah. Well, they were stacked for me the entire way. So I'm giving Byron the edge.
It only took 5 years, Dave, for him to actually like a player that I like.
Y'all agree way more often than you don't.
Murphy, greedy.
You're going down the wrong road there.
Yeah, now I'm having second thoughts.
Yeah.
Rocky Sin and then Justin Lane.
I think Rocky Sin is going to go higher than a lot of people. I think he's going to go before maybe. Who do you have at your number 3?
Sin.
Oh, your Sin was 3?
Yeah.
And 2 was Greedy. Williams?
This is kind of my point, and I'm not.
I think you got that list right.
I like how you say that with like awe in your voice.
No. I like it. I like it. I like your list.
And then I have Justin Lane 4. Then I have DeAndre Baker
All
from
right,
Georgia.
tell me about Lane again. Just tell me about what you like about him.
Well, he's a former wide receiver who
he's a long guy too.
He converted to corner when he got to Michigan State, and he plays the position like he understands exactly what the route runner's trying to do. Puts himself in the position to make plays. Love the length. He's a very good athlete.
4.45 too.
Exactly. You love the ball skills, so I think he's an ascending player, a guy that I'm going to sign up for. If I need a corner in the late first round, Rocky Sin, Justin Lane, both those guys are on my radar.
You think Lane is high as the first round?
Yeah.
Damn.
He's number 28 overall on my board.
Yeah, that's nice.
So where would he have started on your board, do you think? Where would he have initially would have been?
My pre-combine, I think he was like my 6th or 7th corner. And then
you just watch the workout and you're thinking, man, this guy's got movement skills. He's long and can run.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's better. I'm gonna if I need to bet on him, I'll bet on the upside that he provides over what we've seen from DeAndre Baker from Georgia, which 2 really good players, I think. But I'll go with the upside.
I'll tell you who got hurt a little bit is my guy Joanne Williams from Vanderbilt.
You can't run a 4.64.
Yeah, but watch the guy play on tape. Everybody killed that Iowa kid that's at the Chargers now.
He didn't run a 4.64.
You're not going to let that go.
He was slow.
But
what did Desmond King run? I'm looking it up.
It is tough to run a 4.64 if you're
just watch the damn tape, Brugler.
Yeah, and he gets beat.
Isn't there? If there's
he gets his hands on people, he can win on the line.
If he does, yes, that's fair. Yeah, but he just doesn't. He doesn't do it.
Remember this conversation, Hellman, when I'm walking around the track.
I don't know, man. Isn't there? If there's
was King 4.55?
If there's one position where 40 matters, isn't it cornerback?
Yeah, it's a stopwatch position. Yeah, no question.
I don't think Desmond King ran the 40 at the combine.
He ran it.
I'm looking.
I want to say he was 4.55.
The Wi-Fi.
There's a big difference between 4.55 and 4.64.
I'm just telling you that nobody thought the guy could run. You guys were all like lining up against him.
No, that's not true.
He's also a safety. He plays safety. He doesn't play.
True.
He doesn't play corner.
That's true.
Just saying.
He can cover.
Look, with Jalen Williams...
Not if they're 3 steps behind him, he can.
Teams that really covet the length of the position, they're going to like him. But, okay, 4.64.
Where was this talk before the combine?
Speed. Oh, speed was the biggest question for him.
I remember us kind of like glowing about this guy. Maybe I was overly glowing about him.
You are right. We were real high on this guy pre-combine.
But I mean, put on the Georgia tape. I think that shows exactly. And I wrote about this before the combine. The Georgia tape shows me exactly why I am really intrigued by Joanne Williams, but also cautious.
Because you saw Ridley kind of beat him up a little bit.
Well, he got beat several times by receivers that just vertical off. If he doesn't press, doesn't get that contact at the line of scrimmage, he's going to get beat vertically, and he doesn't have the catch-up speed. He's not going to be able to impact.
At the school, Nashville,
Desmond King ran a 4.51, so significantantly better than 4.64.
No, but there was questions about Desmond King's speed.
You're right.
No, there were. Yeah,
right.
And there's a big reason why he fell to the 5th. No question.
Yeah.
And Joanne Williams. I mean, he's in my top 100. It's not like I.
Oh, okay.
59.
Took a beating on that Bosa, and I had him in the top 10. Everybody acts like I didn't even have him on the board.
A little bit different when you're talking about top 10 picks.
2 other guys I want to mention. Amani Hooker from Iowa ran much better than I expected.
Yeah, he didn't play fast.
He doesn't play that fast.
Yeah.
But his intelligence, his IQ, the instincts, all off the charts. And so
the film shows you he doesn't play fast.
But it's kind of like, it's there's a little bit of Desmond King there where he doesn't always.
Same school, yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't always play that fast, but I don't know. I'm going to bet on the tape and bet on the instincts that I think he has. And then Tristan Hill from Central Florida, defensive tackle, who I think has put himself in the top 100 discussion as long as the maturity checks out. That's a big question with him. As long as teams are okay with the character, He's a top 100 player.
All right. Hey, thanks a lot for that. I appreciate that. David, thank you very much. When we come back, we're going to Twitter on the 20. Stay tuned.
Kaboo Texas is 3 days, 6 stages, over 100 artists, including The Killers, Lionel Richie, Leonard Skinner, Ms. Lauryn Hill, Kid Rock, Alanis Morissette, Little Big Town, The 8 Vet Brothers, Counting Crows, Pitbull, Sting, The Black Eyed Peas, and the list goes on. Don't miss Kaboo Texas. Single day and 3-day passes are on sale now. Visit KAABOOTexas.com to get your passes today.
Essilor has been helping Cowboys fans see better since 1972 so they don't miss a moment on the field. Get glasses with Essilor's best vision, clarity, and protection with the Essilor Ultimate Lens Package. 3 innovative technologies in 1 lens. For a limited time, you can double your lenses for free when you purchase the Essilor Ultimate Lens Package and get a second pair of frames. Find a participating eye care professional and details by visiting EssilorUSA.com. That's EssilorUSA.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Do you want the most interesting, up-to-the-minute Dallas Cowboys news straight from the Star in Frisco? How about exclusive and on command? That's right, news and nuggets you can't find anywhere else. With our exclusive Cowboys content on Alexa, you can have all the answers, secrets, stories, and more. What's Stephen Jones thinking during a game? What's Joe Looney's favorite pregame meal? We take your questions to Cowboys players and coaches, and you can hear the answers directly back to you. Just say, Alexa, open Dallas Cowboys.
If you're like me and you love... if you have a thing, then cutting the cord is scary. But then I found out I could switch to DirecTV Now and still get the live sports I love. No satellite needed, no bulky hardware, no annual contract, just...
Get the live sports you love. Try DirecTV Now for $10 a month for 3 months. Visit DirecTVNow.com. DirecTV Now. More for your thing. That's our thing. Use code REALDEAL. Limited time. Price for a little package. After 3 months, renews monthly at full price. Currently minimum $40 unless canceled. Prices may change. New subscribers only. Cancel anytime. Content varies by package and may be limited. Restrictions apply.
A man's Stetson doesn't just protect him from life's elements. It projects an unstoppable and legendary spirit, just like the men wearing silver and navy on the field every Sunday. Since 1865, Stetson hats are American-made with pride right here in Texas. They are still the official crown of all self-respecting Cowboys. And Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Find Stetson hats in the Pro Shop or at Stetson.com today.
Dr. Pepper is the one you crave. But how do you explain that craving?
Imagine being shipwrecked on a desert island, alone. Glass-like curls of surf pound the shore with Dr. Pepper-colored waves. Surrounded by desire, but you can't drink it because it's the ocean. Fish live in there. The only thing you want is Dr. Pepper, and you can't have it.
Now that is a Dr. Pepper craving. Dr. Pepper, the one you crave.
Hey everyone, it's Ed Cahill, co-founder of The Draft Show, and it's time for Twitter on the 20.
Twitter on the 20.
Take it away, Tiny Jim.
Appreciate that, Eddie. I love it. We get better every year. I love it. All right, hop right into Twitter on the 20. Not directly 2019 draft related, but it is pertinent to our interests. Question from Mike Emmanuel Ogba. You remember the name?
We do.
Cowboys famously had him drafted from right out in front of them in 2016.
Had that happen a couple different times in these drafts.
Big part of the reason why they wound up with Jalen Smith. I'd say they're probably pretty happy about the way it all played out.
Very happy about that way that it worked out.
But the word on the street is that the Cleveland Browns are shopping him now that they have Olivier Vernon to pair with Myles Garrett. Would you try to acquire him from Cleveland? What would you give up to get him?
I think you saw a Twitter from you was 5th round, see what they would do?
That's what I would do. Offer a 5th round pick. See what they think about that, because he has not lived up to being the top pick in the 2nd round. He's in a contract year. The value is not going to be high. If the Browns get anything better than a 4th, I'd be shocked.
Yeah, magical John Dorsey working maybe.
Right, and I think maybe you try to get creative, maybe swap spots in the 4th round, or
Dallas has got the 2 compensatories. We keep talking about those.
I wouldn't want to give up a 4th.
Okay,
I mean, if we'd see. I wonder if you could do it for a 2020. Is that too low of a price?
Or make it a
conditional because he probably might not sign back with you.
Well, make it conditional where if he gets over 5 sacks, then it's a 4th rounder. If it's below 5 sacks, it's a 5th rounder.
Yeah, I worry about his instincts when I watch him play. Mm-hmm. I think he's got the traits. I think he's got the physical traits. I don't see an instinctual player when I watch him play.
That's fair. Definitely.
So I wouldn't. I don't know. I mean, I look at this draft again, and I look at defensive ends. I look at defensive tackles. I'm totally on. Yeah, sure. I love to draft. I think you're better off doing it that way.
I just look at it from a practical standpoint, man. Again, like, what can these guys offer the minute they get here? And when you're talking about defensive end,
right,
the lower you go down the pecking order, the less likely it is. I mean, what did Dorrance Armstrong give you this year? Like, right. I mean, he was fine. He was pick 116. He's not supposed to be a star, but he played in 14 games. He was a healthy scratch a couple times. He finished with like 10 tackles, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, and so how they're all in for this year, we know that, but how much all in are they? Emmanuel Ogba is going to be better than any fourth-round defensive end you take this year.
He probably will be better than any defensive end you get at 58, I think, unless you really nail it. And I mean, which you could.
Right.
But
and so if they're all in for this year, then maybe you do give up a fourth, just to give you that immediate depth. And the other variable here is we just don't know what their thinking is in Randy Gregory.
Well, that's you can't count on Randy Gregory.
You can't.
And right now we don't know what the future holds for Tank. I mean, I expect him to be on this team, but what kind of condition will he be in? Yada, yada, yada. Ogba could start. Even if they don't need him to start, he could rotate.
Okay, Ogba better than Zach Allen? Boston College?
This year, yes.
You're talking about a guy that's been in the NFL for 3 years. He's
and now we're talking about trading.
But again,
going into a contract year where he's going to be have a little more extra motivation.
Why wasn't he motivating? Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do. That's a Mickey Spagnola thing I just did.
It's not a perfect comparison, but again, like, think about Connor Williams. You're like, well, he's going to need a year to really get up to where he's supposed to be.
Right.
A guy like Emmanuel Ogba needs no time at all. He's been through the wars, for lack of a better analogy.
Let me ask you this though. Okay, how about Anthony Nelson from Iowa? Same way. Is it Allen?
I'd rather have Anthony Nelson I'd rather have Nelson on a rookie contract than Ogba for 1 year.
Yeah. Well, you could have both. You could draft Anthony Nelson at 58 and still get Ogba.
But that's why we're talking about Ogba as being a fourth or fifth rounder and not second or third rounder.
I would not give up anything more than probably a fifth. I would be reluctant to give up one of the fourths. But if you could get him for a low price, sign me up.
What do you think they're going to use that second, fourth for? If you had to guess.
Well, the fact that you can trade it, get creative.
You're thinking they're going to use it as a move, right?
Ooh.
Yeah.
You guys know I love a segue.
Okay.
Steven says, so it's sort of related to that. Speaking of pass rushers, speaking of comp picks, Steven says, where in round 2 would the Cowboys need to move up to get Jalen Ferguson? What would it take to get there? He's thinking you could use a comp pick. I'm tempted to think not so much. I know you can use those picks to move around, but once you start talking about day 3 picks, they're not worth a lot of points.
Right. I mean, a comp fourth round pick probably moves you up, 4 or 5 spots?
Yeah.
How high do you think you need to get Jalen Ferguson?
They're at 58 right now.
Yeah. The Louisiana Tech defensive
Why
end.
do I kind of have this vibe that he's going to be somewhere between 40 and 46? Someone right in that. I mean, I think you're going to.
Yeah.
I think I think people are getting on board with this guy.
Sure. Yeah.
If you start talking about the comparisons, him, DeAndre Walker, Georgia.
We know
kind of the same,
Yeah, and
the kid. Maybe you don't. Do you like the kid at Old Dominion?
I mean, he's
Eximius.
Shane Eximius.
There we go.
Eximius, yeah.
I mean, he's a light guy. Like, I don't think he fits this team. He's like Chase Winovich. Where he's
somebody had. I think they had somebody mocking him to hear at one like at 90. I saw that.
I mean, he's a pass rusher, but I don't know if
he looks so slight on tape.
But he's 240 pounds.
Stop.
Well, he was at the Senior Bowl.
DeMarcus Lawrence was like 245 when he was in college, for whatever that's worth.
Oh, he's 253 at the Combine. Zimenez was. In the third round, yeah, sure. I mean, I'd be okay with that. I mean, that's where I have Zimenez as a late third round pick on my board, so that makes sense. But for Jalen Ferguson, yeah, I mean, listen, he's, especially after these guys fly off the board, the Bosas, the Allens, the Montez Sweats.
There's going to be a run. Get ready.
Those guys are going to go early, top 20, and then a little bit of a drop off to that next tier of defensive ends. Where is that going to be? Probably early to mid-second round. So Jalen Ferguson could be off the board at 35, or he could be there at 45. But I think
just in my mind, I'm seeing a guy between 40 and 45.
Yeah, I think 45 would be.
If I had to close my eyes and think, okay, where's he going to go? 40 to 45, somewhere right there.
To get there from 58, you're probably using your third round pick.
Yeah, exactly.
So, hey, if you feel like that's your guy, whatever. I'm just saying, I don't think your comp pick is going to get you there.
No, it won't.
Nope.
I got a good scout question for y'all from Blake, talking safeties. Purely hypothetical. Washington's Taylor Rapp, Mississippi State's Jonathan Abram, and Virginia's Juan Thornhill.
Take who?
Three of the bigger, probably the three biggest safeties, unless I'm forgetting somebody. Or Deontay Thompson.
Thompson and Adderley.
I have Adderley one, but yeah.
Okay. Three of the bigger names. Mm-hmm. They're all there at 58.
Huh.
Who's the best fit for you? This guy says he says, I know which one I like, which kudos to you, Blake, for the pun. But which one do y'all
give me
like?
a Rapp.
I say it's a Rapp.
We're just going pun heavy here. I love it. Thank you, Kent.
No, I mean, give me the best player at that point.
Yeah.
I mean,
why is he the best?
Fit. In my opinion, Rapp's the best out of those three. Instinctually, he has everything you want. He's a good athlete.
Play back up. He could tackle. He's a finisher.
Exactly.
He could blitz.
He's more of that strong than a free, but he's not like a strictly in the box guy. I mean, he can move. I mean, he had under a 4 short shuttle.
Yeah.
He can move. So what he brings to the field, that instinctual approach, I'm betting on those guys. Same reason I like Damani Hooker. I like Juan Thornhill. I don't think he played necessarily as fast as he ran, and the jumps are great, but I don't know. I'm not all gung-ho on Juan Thornhill as some other people.
Yeah, I think to me, the 4 best safeties in this draft are Adderley, Rapp, Abram, and Thompson. That's what I think right now. I know a lot of people have Thornhill in there. Take him at 58. I think that one of these other guys are going to be there. I think the guy that's most likely to be there, and I don't know how much you really like him, Dane, is Thompson from Alabama.
He's tough.
He seems like to me that he's going to be the last guy that when this thing gets to 58, it might be that you might see Rapp and Abram, Adderley, of course, go. And now it's like, okay, do you want Thornhill or do you want Thompson? And I would take Thompson over Thornhill myself.
So would I.
You don't sound like you'd be excited about it, though.
I would be. You know what? I've got a second-round grade on Thompson, though.
Mm-hmm. My safeties go Adderley.
You didn't argue with what I said. You're just kind of like,
no, but I mean, what if focusing again on the Cowboys? Okay, at 58? What's going to be the best position? What's going to be the most depth at a position for them at 58?
You keep talking about D tackle.
It's so hard when you're talking about 58 picks into the draft because it could be a lot of positions.
Could be a runner.
Could be, sure.
Wide receiver.
Could be. My safeties go Adderley, Rapp, Abram, Gardner Johnson.
Yeah.
Then
a lot of people like him.
Deontay Thompson, then Juan Thornhill.
Yeah.
So
you and KT, Kevin Turner, on that Gardner Johnson boat.
I think, and all 6 of those guys would be in the conversation at 58. Now I think half.
Who would you take at 90 if it got there? Who you got? Somebody going in the 3rd round? You take
if Darnell Savage from Maryland lasts that far. I'd love to have him in the late 3rd round. I don't think he's going to last that long.
What'd you think of Gant?
He's number 9 for me, safety. So yeah, I got a late 3rd. He just missed my top 100.
Gant is the Marshall kid,
right?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. Awesome play speed. He'll knock you around.
Can I ask a real quick question of you?
What do you got?
I was meant to text you about the Pratt kid from North Carolina State.
Linebacker.
What did you think about him?
I like.
I'm sorry,
him.
Dave. I'm hijacking.
No, I hijacked the first segment.
He's my number 4 linebacker.
Man.
Former safety. You didn't like him? Man, you like him.
Man, I love this kid.
Yeah. I have a second, 3rd round grade.
Full name? What's his?
Jermaine Pratt.
Jermaine Pratt. Yeah. I'm sorry. I do that.
He's number 67 overall on my board.
Bush or White, Bush, Wilson, Pratt over the Hawaii kid.
Yep. That's mine. Tavai is number 5.
Tavai
is number 5 on my linebacker.
Again, I'm sorry about that, folks.
Yeah, no, Pratt, and he worked out well. He ran, 4.57 at 240 pounds.
The tape's really good.
It is. He's a physical player.
Yeah.
He has range.
Yeah.
And he's a former safety, so you think he'll project better and you get better in coverage. So I thought
that was going to be a weak group up top. It's not. It's not a weak group. I think there's some good value there with those guys, with those 4 guys.
I'm still pretty happy the Cowboys don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Tell you what, do you think Pratt can play safety?
I mean, he's 240 pounds.
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
You sound like my Twitter mentions right now. Like, move Sean Lee to safety. He won't get hurt.
Okay.
All right. Okay. These work well with the first segment because we're
good player though.
Very good player.
Talking about adjusting values after the combine. I know we've talked about him before, but my buddy Mitch wants to know, and I'm curious too. Where's our buddy little Jordan Humphrey at these days? Because I feel like his stock's dropped a little bit.
I'm hearing him on Dallas Day visit, by the way.
Yeah,
that would make sense.
It would make sense.
He does, but
him and a Minahu.
When he declared, I'm like, okay, this sounds like a day 2 guy. But is that true? Because it seems like he's like a.
Well, when we watched the tape, what did we get? We gave him like a 4 or 5, something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah, I gave him a 4.
And then the combine was not good.
Not kind to him at all.
How about I have a team with him and Nada, and
yeah, just get all the slow guys on a team.
And I'll get the guy Joanne Williams. I'll get him too. I'll have a great draft.
See how you do.
Humphrey's
I'll be great.
He's basically a tight end. That's how he was used, and that's how you project him in the NFL. That big slot receiver who you don't want him lining up in line, but you want him to manipulate the middle of the field, go in between levels of the defense, and he's got strong hands. He can help you out on crossers. He's a move the chains type of guy. He can high point, but he's not going to run routes. He's not going to create all types of separation.
I'm kind of looking at myself like, why do I have him in the 4th round?
He just for whatever and I'm not always right, but you just kind of get feels about guys, and he just doesn't feel like a Cowboys pick to me.
No, not unless they'd have to shift philosophies and go to that big slot. Which I don't think they're going to do.
Which I don't know if their next slot receiver will be as small as Cole Beasley, but I don't see them wanting a 6'3" guy either.
Where'd you put Slayton from Auburn?
He made my top 100.
I knew he would.
Yeah. He's number 100.
Is he number 100?
Yeah, he just made it.
One more.
Yeah, one more, and we got to hit it out of here.
And it's the same thing. Same question, different guy from Stod. Stanley Morgan Jr., a name we've heard a little bit about out of Nebraska.
Cowboys are kind of sniffing him a little bit.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
So tell me something.
New Orleans kid who
I think I knew that actually.
He was teammates with Fournette at St. Augustine.
St. Aug? Okay.
Great band, by the way.
Very good band.
And goes into Nebraska, and he's the most productive receiver Nebraska's ever produced, which we consider option offense history, but
playing wide receivers at quarterback, all that good type of stuff.
But still, pretty impressive. He went over 1,000 yards this past year, first Nebraska receiver to do that. Not going to really. The deep speed isn't going to wow you. Corners are going to be able to sit on the underneath stuff, but he's got strong hands. I think that he runs with purpose in his routes, so he's a possession guy.
He doesn't have that extra gear. There's no question about that when you watch
4.53 40.
Yeah, but that he ran a lot better.
I would say that's better than
the tape's not. I mean, this guy, he's got toughness about him, and I see why the Cowboys are looking at him though. And I just kind of liked him as a blocker. There's things that he was doing. He was doing a lot of dirty work stuff. And I kind of appreciate it. And I just kept burying him with all these other wide receivers. And it's probably a mistake on my part.
You just saying that because the Cowboys are interested.
No.
It's a loaded position. It's
it is. It's a loaded position because I initially thought, okay, this guy doesn't run well enough. And then he goes and gets a decent time, and I'm thinking, but I didn't see it on the tape. But then again, Dane's right. You watch him. He makes contested catches. He goes and gets the football. I mean, you watch the Nebraska quarterback. That thing is a disaster. That thing is an absolute disaster to have to watch play. And he doesn't get chances. He doesn't get as many chances.
The final 2 lines of my report on him. A one-speed player, NFL corners, be able to sit on underneath routes because he lacks a juice to strike fear into coverage. Overall, Morgan isn't a true deep threat with only average on-field athleticism, but his play strength, ball skills can be an asset, projecting as a bottom-of-the-roster NFL receiver.
Doesn't have that extra gear burst. That was my last line.
What would you give him grade-wise?
I put him in the 6th.
I gave him 5.6, so
yeah.
I'm with you.
Can you do inside and outside?
He did both on tape. Okay. So, theoretically.
Yeah. Cowboys are looking at for some. They must be looking at the toughness aspect of him.
Yeah.
The toughness and the extending for catches.
How does he compare to Cedric Wilson?
Wilson had a little more juice, I think.
Yeah. I think we had Wilson in the 6th round, too.
Yeah. Well, that's where the Cowboys got him.
Exactly. All right. Thank you so much to everybody out there. Thanks to everybody on Periscope, too, that's kind of following along today. When we come back, we're going to play some Tell Me More. Stay tuned.
If you're like me and you love... if you have a thing, then cutting the cord is scary. But then I found out I could switch to DirecTV Now and still get the live sports I love. No satellite needed, no bulky hardware, no annual contract, just...
Get the live sports you love. Try DirecTV Now for $10 a month for 3 months. Visit DirecTVNow.com. DirecTV Now. More for your thing. That's our thing. Use code REALDEAL. Limited time. Price for little package. After 3 months, renews monthly at full price. Currently minimum $40 unless canceled. Prices may change. New subscribers only. Cancel anytime. Content varies by package and may be limited. Restrictions apply.
It's time for tailgating with the OtterBox boys.
The OtterBox that builds those crazy protective phone cases?
Yup, and now they're changing the side dish game with the OtterBox Trooper Soft Cooler. Lightweight, mobile, and leak-proof, Trooper is perfect for blitzing a crowded parking lot with a Frito pie.
Amazing. Hey, you think I could fit my 7-layer salmon salad into the Trooper cooler?
Yup, but please don't.
And that's been Tailgating with the OtterBox boys. Learn more about the Trooper soft coolers at otterbox.com.
While a player could look good on paper, it's when he's out on the field that you really find out what he's made of. That's why the Cowboys rely on more than just stats and scouting reports when building their team. When picking a tractor, it's why you should rely on more than just specs and features. You've got to take it out and put it to the test. The Cowboys did when they named John Deere their official tractor. Experience one for yourself. Visit myjohndeeredealer.com/football.
It can be hard to find the right resource for learning about important financial matters. You search how to build savings, you end up reading about the one weird ingredient from supermarkets that can make you taller. That's why Bank of America built BetterMoneyHabits.com, a safe little corner of the internet for answering your financial questions. Full of simple videos and tips, Better Money Habits can show you how to make the most of your money without resorting to random searches that always seem to lead to unbelievable photos of childhood stars grown up. To learn more, visit BetterMoneyHabits.com.
Essilor has been helping Cowboys fans see better since 1972 so they don't miss a moment on the field. Get glasses with Essilor's best vision, clarity, and protection with the Essilor Ultimate Lens Package. 3 innovative technologies in one lens. For a limited time, you can double your lenses for free when you purchase the Essilor Ultimate Lens Package and get a second pair of frames. Find a participating eye care professional and details by visiting EssilorUSA.com. That's EssilorUSA.com. Terms and conditions apply.
This is the DallasCowboys.com Draft Show.
The Cowboys are on the clock.
Back here in the SWBC Mortgage Studios, Brian Broadus, Dane Burglar, David Hellman, Kent Garrison, executive producing. David, is there any news about Cowboy news going on right now that we can report about or anything like that?
It sounds like the Cowboys have finally started dipping their toe into free agency. Just nothing that's going to
move the meter.
Socks off. Christian, is it Christian? Yeah, Christian Covington.
Yeah.
It's intriguing. You look up his resume, 6th-round pick from 2015 with Houston.
You got a scouting report on him there, Mr. Burger?
Remember him, Dane?
Yeah, no, from Rice. He's a guy who I think can interchangeably play some 1, play some 3.
Was he a 3-4? I mean, I got to look at the guy.
You played end in Houston, which is a 3-4 scheme.
So he's a 5 technique. It means he's going to probably play inside here.
3.5 sacks last year, which I'm sure he benefited from having Clowney and Watt.
Kind of helps.
3.5 sacks, 15 tackles.
Purely a depth signing, but yeah, a guy that I'd love to have him as part of my rotation.
I'm more than happy to let him get some reps at 1 technique. Yeah. Not a splashy signing, but it sounds solid. It reminds me they got Terrell McClain from Houston a few years ago. It sounds very similar to that.
Gotcha.
And then the other one, I thought I saw Tavon Austin. Has
maybe
re-upped, which that's not super surprising. He's been hanging out here all off season.
He has been. He's been here working out and stuff like that. I've been seeing him in the cafeteria. So maybe that's your kicker or your punt return guy.
I mean,
got a little juice there.
I would assume he's obviously going to be the favorite to be your return man. I'm curious, what, if any, stake he's going to have in the slot situation.
I was curious he makes the team.
Are the Cowboys? I think he would make the team.
Well, depending on who they get the slot and stuff like
well,
that. If you get Samuel, he could return kicks for you too.
I'm nervous about the idea of Tavon being the slot receiver, so I want to see what else they do, who else they take a look at.
They prepped him that whole week for the Giants game, and then Beasley went.
Yeah. That's what. So I don't know, but
okay,
good to have him back as a return guy, gadget guy, whatever.
Okay, as we carry on these last 15 minutes of our programming here today, we do something. I love this. This is one of my favorite. I love Twitter on the 20 because of the interaction with the fans, but I also love Tell Me More.
I love.
Yeah.
Production
not
value.
because of that song, but yeah,
like people get so excited for this segment with like people start submitting me guys like the day we start and like we're not there yet.
But keep submitting.
Yeah, no, absolutely,
because we'll get to them.
So I'm gonna start off. Which this is a Senior Bowl guy. My buddy Dan on Twitter has literally been asking me about him since January. So tell me more about Michigan State safety Kari Willis, please.
First off, I think if there's a Byron Jones future state senator type of guy.
Oh yeah, he's got the grade off the field.
So he's a right kind of guy.
Yeah, he is a right kind of guy. Let's
go. Exactly. He's the type of guy that's going to be a leader. He's going to be vocal and type of guy when he speaks, everybody stops, listens, and takes what he has to say. On the field, I think has a very average skill set.
Yeah. I think in the House chamber, he's not going to be asked to turn and backpedal like he needs to. I mean, he'll get to the podium and be fine. Look good standing there.
You don't want your politicians to backpedal anyway.
They don't want him to backpedal, but it takes this guy some time to turn. And I don't think he has the range.
Yeah, no.
I worry about his range. I do worry about his ability to close. Is something. I remember watching some plays, I think Northwestern, ball going down the field, and it was like he was running in mud. And I just kind of went, please, I don't need my safety doing that. But yeah, Dane's absolutely right about the off the field stuff. Tremendous guy, but I just do not see a guy that
he's not an NFL starter.
Yeah, I don't think. But the one thing is, I will give him credit for being a tackler. The guy will wrap up and tackle.
Well, that's in a 4.55 speed. You think, okay, special teams, backup,
right?
Like you could do a lot worse than this guy.
Right.
Another backlogged one. We all know our friend Bobby Belt.
Love Bobby.
He's been beating me down about Michael Dogby out of Temple for weeks. So tell me more about him too.
One of the top combine snubs this year.
That's amazing watching the tape. That guy did not get invited to the combine.
Yeah, it's really confusing because the tape's impressive.
Yep.
And this past year he's productive. He had 12.5 tackles for loss, 7 sacks. You love just the motor. It doesn't quit.
Never stops.
No, it doesn't stop. And look, technique-wise, he's all over the place. His hands are very aggressive, very active, but they're all over the place.
Yeah. He tries to use his hand. I mean, it's like watching a windmill. It's this.
His pads, they go upright.
Upright, yeah.
So the technique needs a lot of work, but the motor doesn't quit. He has some pop in his upper body, quick feet. He can cross the face of blockers and make plays in the backfield.
Range.
Yeah, he's the type of player
tackle and in too, by the way.
Right. You're looking to round out
position flex.
Yeah, absolutely, because he played defensive. He was at linebacker in high school. Moved to defensive end, played some defensive tackle. He was actually their starting nose tackle at Temple, but played everywhere from the 1 to the 5. He's a guy that if I'm looking to round out my defensive line depth chart, but he's a guy to be targeting 5th, 6th round and feel good about it.
He's got him absolutely right. The whole thing with
I like what I'm hearing here.
This guy though, it's one of those things that I really liked how he could redirect. I mean, I saw a guy that okay, it's over here. Now it's over here. I mean, you see a guy with some athletic ability, and again, for him not to go to the combine, that's a big miss by the guys putting that list together. Like this kid's going to get drafted, and like Dane says. You'd say 5'6", kind of in there.
That's what I gave him.
Yeah.
Or I think maybe I have a 5 on him.
Yeah, I thought he was more of a 5 myself, is what I thought. But
I have a flat 5 on him.
No problem with this guy.
I've made it pretty clear that I don't want to spend a lofty pick on a tight end, but maybe a down the line guy might be a good thing for this team. So tell me more about Washington's Drew Sample.
See, this guy, to me, he should be considered, in that.
We're not considering him high enough. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, he's top 120 player.
Oh, so I'm not giving him his just due. I was thinking of him as a day 3 guy. Which that's still day 3.
Yeah, he probably is a day 3 guy. I'd be a little surprised. But, I mean, you think of like a Will Dissly. He's better than Will Dissly, and Dissly was a 4th-round pick last year.
He's better than Dissly?
Yes. Thank you for acknowledging
He's
that.
He's better than Brian's crush of all crushes, Will Dissly, who was on his way to a great rookie season.
He was before he got hurt.
At one point, I could do this for a living. At one point, I could.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could do it anymore, but at one point, I could.
I would pay good money to see you actually get to make these calls. Both of y'all.
That'd be fun. That was fun in Philadelphia.
Why? This guy's better than Dissly.
Yeah. And
I read up on him a little bit. And
no, this guy is better than Dissly. He is absolutely better than Dissly.
The problem with him was, you'll like this, a sample size. We didn't have it. He had single-digit catches every year up until his senior year. Finally got a chance to be a little bit more, and he took advantage. I think he had 25 catches. So he's a guy that he's already married. He's got a professional mindset. He's going to give you really consistent reps as a blocker. He's not going to let you down. As a pass catcher, he needs to get better with his routes and just being more consistent. But he's shown me enough on tape where I think he can do it. So Drew Sample, if I'm looking for a tight end in the 4th round, he'd be on my short list.
Yeah, and
got 2 picks in the 4th.
I will say this guy does play in line like Will Dissly did. I think he's a little bit better. I think where Dissly had him when it came to blocking, I think Dissly was a little bit better handling those down linemen.
He's not as powerful.
He's not as powerful as Dissly, but the routes that they run, it's this crazy underneath stuff they ask him to do. You talk about the sample size and stuff like that. But this guy, when you put on the tape, he does a good job of handling those like linebackers and stuff like that. So I would not be opposed to having this guy on your football team.
So like, where do you? Your tight ends, do you have him? Foster Moreau, LSU tight end.
Oh, I like Foster Moreau just because he's an LSU guy.
So you have, who do you have higher, Sample or Moreau?
I would have Sample higher.
Okay.
I actually have Raymond from Utah State above him is what I have. So I had those guys in the 4th round.
Okay.
Raymond, Sample, Caden Smith from Stanford. And then I like the Mays from Notre Dame.
Mack. Elise Mack.
Is it Mack? Is how you say that?
Yeah. His last name's Mack. His first name's Elise.
Elise. Okay, I messed it up. My part, but Mack is his last name. Okay, Notre Dame. I have those guys all in that range right there. My apologies there.
You already alluded to it. You start to hear the whispers about Dallas Day. Dallas is rife with football talent. Tell me more about Divine Ozigbo, the running back out of Nebraska.
There's another combine snub. Am I right
that's
about that?
Hails from Saxe, Texas.
Saxe, absolutely.
About, I don't know, 10 miles east of here.
It's not too far.
He was.
Is he too sexy to come here?
Oh God, we're deep in the puns today.
This show is off the rails now.
Yeah.
He's like you said, he's going to be one of the first combine snubs to be drafted, probably in the mid rounds. He really had that senior year that you were hoping for. Didn't have the production his first 3 years. Then his senior year goes over 1,000 yards. He averaged 7 yards a carry. He's a straight line-ish guy a little bit, but he runs with pop. He has some elusiveness in his lower body where he can swerve away from defenders. What I really like about him is toughness in pass pro. When he was given a chance to be a receiver out of the backfield, he took advantage of it. He caught the football. So he's just a physical, hard-charging back. And if I'm looking for a running back in day 3, he'd be on my short list for sure.
This guy's got some complete back to him. Dane has got him right. And at 5'11", 227, 4.58 speed, someone's going to fall in love with this guy because he's right about the toughness on the blitz pickup. That's one of the first things you notice about how he'll step up and hit you.
Which is something you usually complain about when you're talking about college running backs.
No, this guy can block. I think he's a little bit of a straight line runner, though.
Yeah,
I don't see but much wiggle with him, but I do see a tough guy. I do see a guy that when they put him in the flat to catch the ball and he can adjust. They put him wide.
He can run some wheels.
Yeah, he runs the wheel. Absolutely. They did that against, I think it was Michigan I was watching. They did a wheel route and got him open. I mean, this guy, he's got some complete back to him. And so if you're looking for that guy that can blitz pick up, catch the football, and run it when they hand it to him, this guy's your guy.
All right. When can I get him?
I had him in the 5th.
Day 3.
Yeah. That sounds about right. I mean,
there's a lot of really good backs, and it's hard to jump backs with this guy. And I know I talked greatly about him, but if you're thinking about a guy, you're thinking, oh, this guy's probably a 7th round or undrafted free agent guy, whatever. Nah. This guy's got some legitimate skill to himself.
The fact that he can pass protect and catch the ball, that's what's going to separate him from maybe a Raekwon Armstead from Temple or Jordan Scarlett from Florida, some of these other guys on day 3. So as we stack these day 3 running backs, which I'm still working through myself, I think Ozigbo is going to be a guy we like more and more.
Which I don't want to doubt y'all's evaluations, but this goes back to the first segment, though. Who's the kid, Central Michigan running back, wound up in Seattle?
It was at Michigan, had the character stuff.
Cowboys tried to get him.
Yeah.
Why can't I remember this guy's name? Damn it.
I know, it's going to bother me, too.
You're asking a 55-year-old guy to remember names.
I know. Thomas Rawls.
Yes,
there we
Rawls.
go. There we go.
They went through some backs.
All I'm saying is, again, these guys fall for whatever reason. There's only 256 picks. And something to keep in mind, he's going to be at Dallas Day. He's going to be a guy they have familiarity with. So, I don't know. Just saying.
Yep, not a bad idea.
Maybe that's a guy you're on the phone with on day 3, like, hey.
All right, you got another guy for us, Dave?
I saved the Brugler special for last.
Oh, no.
We did 4 Power 5 guys and Temple is a very good non-Power 5 program. This is a school that I didn't even know had a football team.
Oh gosh.
I know for
Alderson Broadus?
I know for a fact. I know for a fact that Brian hasn't seen him. Brian actually said I can't find tape on this guy.
No, I found tape.
You just didn't have time to watch it?
I didn't have time to really watch it.
Dane, if you can, tell me more about Brody Oliver, wide receiver from the Colorado School of Mines.
Yes.
Who are you?
Shout out to Brian for the suggestion.
Yeah.
6'3", about 210 pounds. He's a D2 guy. The reason I do know him fairly well is because he's a Shrine guy.
Because you're sick. That's why.
Yeah, he's my number...
The Colorado School of Mines.
Great school.
My number 4 small school wide receiver.
Okay.
He's got this thing broken down into small school wide receiver.
Yeah,
Who are the top 3? Who are the top 3?
I love
Keelan Doss from UC Davis.
UC Davis.
I know that name.
Yeah.
Jazz Ferguson from Northwestern State.
Yeah, Northwestern.
Jalen's little brother.
Yeah.
Former LSU receiver.
Oh, yeah. That actually sounds familiar.
Kelvin McKnight from Samford. Number 3. Peter Warwick's nephew. And then Brody Oliver, 4th, who, he's in that 7th round PFA range. Really productive guy. I think he had over 4,000 yards receiving. Big body. You like his frame. You like his ability to catch outside his frame. He's not going to beat you with speed, but he does show some detailed focus to his routes. At the stem, his ability out of his breaks.
I can't.
He's a guy that, who's my guy from Penn last year that I liked a lot? Justin Watson.
Yeah.
He's not going to run as fast as Watson, but I think they're similar players in ways.
I'll tell you what, I did before.
6'3", you said.
Yeah.
6'3", 208.
I saw just a glimpse of this guy, right? He plays in the slot. He's a slot player.
Big slot?
He's a big slot player.
Was there a
downfield.
Was there a bounce house in the background of the tape?
We were not watching tape of Hobart.
Oh, sorry.
We did. We watched
Ali
tape
Marpet.
of we watched tape of Alderson Broadus, and Dane made fun. He goes, "I didn't think that's a real school."
Alderson Broadus, they came backfiring.
There's 35 people in the stands.
We're gonna start cheating here. Get ready.
All right, so I can Brody Oliver, big slot. I'm intrigued.
No, but
PFA.
Colorado School of Mines. He'll end up with the Denver Broncos.
Probably. He's a Colorado native.
Local guy. Yeah,
Philip Lindsay.
Cool. Yeah, no, awesome. they'll end up. Yeah, he'll end up. Someone at the end of the draft, we're all laughing and we'll say, "Okay, where did Brody Oliver go? Oh, he ended up with the Denver Broncos." Hey, by the way, all right, real quick before we go, I always like to do this. Predict right now who the Cowboys are going to take at 58. Just predict. If me, I like to throw. I threw the Leighton Vander Esch out there.
In light of Earl Thomas signing in Baltimore, and you don't want to.
Like I said, this is just. I got my guy.
You don't want to. I bet it will be. If I had to get Jonathan Abram, fine, safety,
Jonathan
or
Abram?
maybe Taylor Rapp, one of those guys.
So you're going one of the safeties?
Yeah.
Do you have a guy?
I'll go with the defense tackle. Let's go Wren.
You're going Wren?
I'll go Wren.
Can I see the list of 30 visitors first? Like, can I at least?
I've just, you know me. We were talking about Van Der Esch, and I just said they're going to draft. I was running yesterday. I'm like, I'm going to do this. These guys. They're going to take Zach Allen at 58, Boston College defensive end.
I could see that.
I'll tell you what, they're going to work him at defensive end. They're going to work him at defensive tackle.
He's Tyron Crawfordish.
Yes, Mark. This is my Leighton Van Der Esch moment.
So we all think defense.
We all think defense.
I can't get any love for Deebo Samuel.
Well, maybe you will. Okay, but that's my guy. All right, hey, that is all the time we have for today. Thanks everybody out there for joining us. I want to thank my scouting buddies, Dane Bergler, David Hellman, Kent Garrison, executive producing. Next week, we'll inch once again closer to our date in Tennessee for the NFL draft. It's the 100th season of the National Football League, and we'll make sure you have everything covered for you for the draft from that perspective. So you guys take care, have a great week, and keep investigating all that tape. Take care.